the Rookie of the Year, this is where I'm going to put my nose right in the air and feel smug. The
You
Rookie
should.
of the Year's winners are announced. National League Paul Skenes. This came as a shock to a lot of people, given his limited service time this season. Brad, you're among those.
Yep.
I said I could see it, but I'm still surprised, especially given once every 5 days on the mound against guys who go to the bat, go up to the plate every day, etc. However, this is fabulous. He's the second Pirate ever to win Rookie of the Year, by the way. Figure that out. 23 first-place votes, 7 second-place votes. Jackson Merrill got 7 first-place votes, 23 second-place. And Jackson Chourio got 26 third-place votes. Figure that out. That's a landslide. That's a landslide. He didn't even... Nobody was even close.
No, and so as soon as this came out, I was like, what? That is unreal. Merrill was there the entire season. He played every day, right? And then I was like, let's take a look at the WAR that Paul Skenes accumulated over the course of the season. So first I went Jackson Merrill. Let's see where he's at, just as like a point, right? A point to start with. Jackson Merrill put up a 4.4 WAR this season. That's really
pretty good. Yeah.
And then I went over to Paul Skenes and I was like, okay, he pitched 23. He started 23 games this season. He can't have 5.9.
Oh. Well, I didn't know it was that big.
It's like, okay, yeah, you can give it to him. Just off that alone, he is the Rookie of the Year.
We're not worthy. Neither is anybody else.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He earned it. Good for him.
Yeah, he did. I love it. Oh, I love it. Now, here's the part where I'm going to be real smug, and not just because of the homer pick, but Luis Gil won the American League Rookie of the Year. I'm feeling smug, not as a Yankees fan, but because he deserved it, and everybody else was telling me I was crazy. I talked about how he had to step in and fill in the biggest role on the team that had a terrific record, was, always fighting for first place in the American League East, et cetera, all that stuff. And he plugged himself right in and didn't skip a beat. Nobody did. And on top of that, he killed it, right? Anyway, I could go on. Go see the other episode where we talk about the finalists and you can get my argument. What surprised me is how close the point breakdown was. Because Luis Gil got 15 first-place votes, but Colton Cowser received 13 first-place votes. Austin Wells didn't get any first-place votes, okay? Mason Miller got 1. Cade Smith got 1, but that was it. So Luis Gil, 15 first-place votes, 10 second-place, 1 third-place. Cowser, 13 first-place, 11 second-place, and 3 third-place votes. The rest of them don't matter.
That's a total of 5 points, I think, difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tight spread. It's really tight. And rightly so. For the same reasons we talked about Paul Skenes, coming in every 5 days. Cowser's playing most days and stepping up to the plate. It's a big point of contention, and it's a worthy argument. Now, Brad, I hope you're pulling up the WAR for both of these guys, because
3.1 each.
Shh. Seriously?
Yeah. Yep. I looked before. I looked while you were talking.
I figured you were.
Yeah.
I figured you were. Well, that justifies the point spread being so tight, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. Gil got a total of 106 points, and Cowser got 101. And then Austin Wells had 17, and he was the next guy in line. That's why he was the other finalist.
Luis Gil is the 10th Yankees player to win Rookie of the Year. That's pretty cool. Now, what's really cool, a couple of fun facts for you. This is the first time a pair of starting pitchers have won Rookie of the Year at the same time, in the same year, since 1981, when Fernando Valenzuela and Dave Righetti won the Rookie of the Year together as starting pitchers. That is fascinating. I feel like.
That is fascinating. I haven't heard that name Dave Righetti in a long time. I swear I had like a handful of his baseball cards in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Nando, right? He just passed away. Everybody's been talking about him, so I thought that was really awesome that it became this sort of fun fact. And it included Valenzuela.
Well, the thing that I love, one of the things I love about Fernando Valenzuela is I never got to watch him pitch. That I know of, and but he'll always be immortalized in Bull Durham.
Yeah,
like that's my big experience with him, because I know that he pitched into the 90s, with Baltimore, Philly, San Diego, but didn't get to watch a whole lot of those games as a kid because of where we lived, right? You had to rely on ESPN. Yeah, so I don't that I know of. I never watched Fernando Valenzuela pitch, but I know exactly who he is because I watched Bull Durham probably 50 times.
50 times this year, yeah. The flower goes in front, Brad.
I know.
Okay.
You don't have to tell
me. Okay. I'm going to bite all that back. All right, Brad, here's my last fun fact. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Paul Skenes is the 5th player ever to be a number 1 overall draft selection to also win Rookie of the Year. That's joins
crazy.
5th ever. He joins Carlos Correa, Brother Harper, everybody knows that, Darryl Strawberry, and Bob Horner. That's it. And then Paul Skenes.
So the thing that I love about that is that a lot of times the number 1 overall pick is like, oh, he's a can't miss. He's a can't miss prospect. We've seen that is not necessarily the case, right?
So it doesn't always work.
Flame out, doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you're not guaranteed to get with the first overall pick. You're not guaranteed to get an immediate contributor right away their first year.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there have been more who were finalists.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're not going to be the best. They're not guaranteed to be the best of their class, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there are other first-round picks or first overall picks who finished in Rookie of the Year voting.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Have been finalists. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Cole, right?
Right, and a lot of that, to me, has to do with the player development side of an organization, right?
Yeah.
That, Paul Skenes was ready to go when he got drafted, which is a pretty good thing, I think. Because the Pirates, they draft good pitching, but guys don't really, historically, I guess, current company aside, right? Because they have some studs on that pitching staff. But Garrett Cole didn't turn into real Garrett Cole until he left. Tyler Glasnow didn't turn into real Tyler Glasnow until he left. Right?
Yeah, but I still think what they were building in Pittsburgh prepared them to receive whatever that last notch of information was, whatever that last little push was. And maybe you're right, it did take a new environment, a new coaching and whatever, but I don't think we can discount what Pittsburgh did.
And you're right. Part of that could just be aging and maturation, right? By the time those guys get to somewhere else, they've reached a new point where they're like, light bulb, right? But there are organizations that draft guys and cannot develop them. The Pirates are 100%. A terrible example, but there are teams that just don't know how to do that.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, you ready for this? You talk about Paul Skenes being ready to go, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, he was ready to go. As soon as he got drafted, he was probably ready, and then whatever, right?
Because he went to the college minor leagues.
You ready for this? Bob Horner, 1978. I'm going to read this right off of MLB.com, okay? Quoting. Horner was the first overall pick in 1978 draft out of Arizona State University. That same year, he debuted with the Braves in the majors. He is one of 23 players in Major League Baseball history who skipped the minor leagues altogether. We'll have to talk about that another time. But it was 10 days after his name was called in the draft, he made his MLB debut against Bert Blyleven for the Braves.
Crazy.
And he hit a 2-run homer off of Blyleven for his first major league hit. You believe that?
Whoa, and check this out, Brig. He went to the high school down the street from me.
What?
Where I live today. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We go to their football games all fall.
That's cool.
And basketball games during the winter. Yeah, I know that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So Horner hit 23 home runs with an 852 OPS across 89 games that year to win NL Rookie of the Year. And then he had a 10-year MLB career, 218 home runs. Pretty awesome.
Nice. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that I feel like you see more pitchers come straight out of college into the big leagues, like a short stint in the minor leagues, because you need them.
Yep.
And if you've got it, you've got it, so they're going to bring you through. But they want hitters to adjust, and I think it's interesting that they didn't want him. They didn't feel like he needed to adjust at all.
Pretty sweet. We're going to get into that list of 23 other players another day because I think that'll be a fun conversation.